was I going to talk about today? Oh, that's right. This movie, Three Extremes. I recently found out that it's actually a sequel of sorts to an original project called Tree, just Tree as the number 3. Tree, I don't know. Which was a collaboration between a bunch of Asian Oriental directors to make a horror movie with 3 stories. I don't remember who was involved in the film, unfortunately. One day I will know for sure. But the point is that this is actually a sequel, but it's the first one that came out in the United States, and so a lot of people know this one as the original. And it has the work of course, I don't want to mess this up, so okay, Fruit Chan, the Chinese segment called Dumplings. A weird name if you ask me, Fruit Chan, it just sounds, anyway. The work of Chang-wook Park, of course, for the Korean segment, and of course Takashi Miike for the Japanese segment. Cut and, what is the name? Box is the name of the Japanese segment. So, what can be said about this movie? Honestly, I'm making this video mostly because I just wanted to sort of bend a little bit, I guess. I don't know. One big problem that I have is that I usually build up my expectations for some things too much. So when I actually end up watching the thing, a lot of the times it's not what I was expecting. Or at least not as good as I was expecting it to be. And I've already established that I have this sort of issue with Asian directors for some reason, specifically Japanese directors, and specifically in Japanese horror, where I will watch a movie made by them and a lot of the time I will be left thinking, what the hell just happened? What just happened? Or, maybe just expecting more of an answer. I think that me and one of my friends were discussing recently was that in Japanese cinema, specifically Japanese horror cinema, a lot of the times not many questions are answered. You're left to fend for yourself on that one. You're left to figure out your things yourself. Which I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I appreciate that. I appreciate being treated like a thinking adult, but at the same time, sometimes, come on, man, give me an answer every now and then as to what just happened. So I'm going to go backwards. The actual order would be first Dumplings, the Chinese one, then Cut, the Korean, and then Takashi Miike's Box. I'm going to start with Miike's Box. So Box, right? It's a story about this woman who, I'm not going to lie to you, I haven't watched the movie in like 2 weeks. I just now decided to make this video, but I watched the movie like 2 weeks or even more ago. Longer ago. If memory serves, this girl is some sort of author. And she seems to be traumatized by the fact that when she was a little girl, she and her identical twin sister, they were performers in this sort of circus thing. But there was clearly some sort of molestation going on. I don't know, man. I mean, they didn't seem to be like actually like beaten or anything, but the dude that was looking after them, he definitely was way too touchy with them, way too hands on them. So yeah, there was some child abuse going on there, that's for sure. It unfortunately happens a lot in Japanese stories, probably also because it happens a lot in Japan, but hey, what can I do? The point is, this is going on in her life. She wanted the attention of this guy, so she locked up her sister in the box that they would get into. They were contortionists. She locks her sister in the box that they would get into, and then she accidentally starts a fire, and the whole place goes down, and everyone dies. So she's tortured by this. I don't want to actually spoil the endings of these stories. So how would you say this? I had no idea what the fuck happened in the ending. All I know is that apparently it was all a dream. I said I didn't want to spoil it, but fuck it. It was all a dream or something. That's just messed up, man. I always think of the back in the day story of how Lost was going to end up being like the dream of a dog or something. The ending of Lost. Mind you, it wouldn't have been that much worse if it had just been the dream of the dog. But anyway, the point is that when an ending to a story is that, oh, it was all a dream. Oh, okay. The only reason why I'm not giving it any actual shit is because, I mean, it's a short, and it's a horror story, so, I mean, I guess. Sure, let's go with that. It was all a dream. Not really sure what the meaning of it all was, though. Or if there even was a meaning. Because, for instance, we talk about also Cut, the Chan-wook Park's short for this movie. So in that one, the protagonist, I know the actor. I've seen him all over the place. He's in a lot of Korean movies. He's even in some American movies. He's the one of the two ninjas for the G.I. Joe franchise. Anyway, he is a director, a movie director, whose life is apparently kind of perfect. So one day, this guy who used to be an extra in like 5 of his movies goes into his house, or no, actually. Okay, yeah, he kidnaps him from his house. He takes him to the studio of his latest film, which looks almost exactly like his living room, or exactly like his living room. And he basically is forcing him to, it's a weird thing. This guy, the extra guy, he's telling him that he is a bad person himself, him, the extra, because he's a drunk and he would go home every day and like beat up his wife and his son or whatever. Or, no, I think he didn't hit his son. The point is that he's a bad dude, and he considers it unfair that because he's poor and his father was an asshole and he's now an asshole, well, this guy, the director, you know, he's such a nice, always so awesome guy, but that's because he doesn't have to be an asshole, because he has never experienced true unfairness in life. He was born rich, you know, to a wealthy family. He studied abroad, he's a successful movie director, this, yada, yada. He's handsome, he has a great wife, whatnot. And so, a lot of obvious social commentary going on there. I've noticed most Japanese directors who are worded and will comment on how fucked up things. I say Japanese, fucking. Most Korean movie directors that are worded them, no matter what the genre it is, they're going to at some point comment on how fucked up things are in Korea, between classes, between economic classes, and I mean, everyone here has seen Parasite by this point. Probably it was a very popular film, but. You know, you go beyond Parasite, I promise you, you're going to find a lot of movies that also deal with that. All stemming from Korea. Is that the correct word? Anyway, the point is, I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure how I feel about that one. I like the work of Chan-wook Park. I like his work, but I'm not sure if I would qualify his segment as horror, as such. It's definitely a type of horror, don't get me wrong. It's more of an existential, very true horror, you know. If anything, that might be the issue, that it was a little bit too real, perhaps. Not that that upsets me or anything, but it felt kind of weird, placed in the middle of the other two stories. That's all I'm trying to get at, I guess. Because the other two stories have clear paranormal elements to them, and this one was just some crazy dude torturing rich people because they deserve it. Here's the thing, the real reason why I made this video is because of this, because while I enjoyed those two shorts, the first one, Dumplings, I didn't like it, like at all. I thought it was good looking, I thought that the cinematography was good, I thought that the acting was good. I don't know the name of the actress, well, that's not true. One of the ladies, the witch, Bei Ling, so she's been in a lot of movies, a lot of American movies and a lot of Chinese movies. Some of you might remember her as the Chinese chick from The Crow with Brandon Lee, may he rest in peace. Among other things, she was in Lost, actually, in one episode of Lost. She's been actually, one of my favorite roles from her is in the movie Crank, Crank 2 to be specific, High Voltage. I really like that movie and I really like her in it. Anyway, the point is, didn't really like the short. Watching it, I thought, this is okay, I guess, but it felt off. There was something off about it. It felt to me like there was a lot of shit missing in there. I was like, Jesus Christ! I mean, that's it's kind of horrid, don't you think? It feels a little bit horrid. And then, as I finished watching the whole movie, I'm looking at the box, you know, at the DVD box, and I'm just looking at it, and I see. Okay, disc 2, I did notice there was a disc 2. I'm reading it. Dumplings full-length feature. And I'm like, wait a minute. What? So apparently Dumplings was actually a full-length feature, as it says. A full-length feature that they edited. They apparently filmed a few extra things, you know, to change the ending a bit. Just a little bit, not too much. and they rearranged some of the scenes and of course edit a lot out to make it into a 44-minute or so short in order to put it here. I will tell you this: the other two, I was not, I was not impressed by them. I liked them, but I was not impressed by them. But I liked them. I could recognize, okay, it is what it is. That one I didn't like because of that, because I felt like there's stuff missing. There's something wrong here. And then I realized, oh, that's the reason, because it's actually supposed to be a full-length film that they just edited. So I watched the full-length feature film, and guess what? That's actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good movie. The full-length film. I'm not sure how long it is by itself. I don't remember. But this thing, for instance, is about 2 hours long, the whole thing. The full-length film of Dumplings must be like 1 hour 40, more or less. I thought it was pretty good. I honestly thought it was really good. I liked it better than the whole of the 3 shorts, of the whole 3 extremes. So that was probably the best thing to come out of me buying this movie. Me getting to watch the whole Dumplings film. I thought it was really good. I like the idea in general. The idea is this woman who used to be like a soap opera actress back in China. She is, aging now. She's married to this dude who's even older than she is. He apparently was a producer of one of her shows when she was younger. And the dude no longer desires her. He's now like flirting and having sex, affairs with younger women. And she's like, no, I want my husband to look at me, and I want to be in general looked at again, probably. She wants her beauty back, her youth back. So she goes to this witch, this woman. I already forgot what her fucking name was, but Beiling. She goes to Beiling, and Beiling starts making dumplings for her that are supposed to make her regain her beauty and her youth, and I think also stimulate her libido. Her libido. However, this woman discovers that Beiling is making said dumplings from human fetuses, from human fetus, from unborn children, which is fucking gross, if you ask me. It's kind of disturbing too, kind of. It's fucking disturbing. Of course, it's disturbing. But there was a kind of sexual energy to that film that I was not expecting, if I'm honest. I should have guessed it, I should have guessed it just out of the fact that it was a movie about a woman trying to regain her beauty and her youth through a rather unorthodox way, a method that was just straight up witchcraft almost. And of course it's Beiling. She's usually a pretty foxy lady in most of everything she's in. Not saying that that's all she's good at. All I'm saying is she's she's like, what, I think she's about the same age as Halle Berry, which would put her about 55 years old right now. And last time I saw a picture of her, she still looked pretty good. Then again, so does Halle Berry, so... at the risk of sounding as a racist, maybe it's because they're black and Asian, respectively, so... As in Halle and... Okay, you know what I mean. Hey, those girls, those guys, they don't fucking crack, man. They don't crack. How was... Ali Wong, I think she's a comedian. I think she said it like, black don't crack, but Asian don't fucking die, man. Anyway, I'm stealing jokes now. The point is, that movie I actually thought was pretty good. The full length feature of Dumplings, I thought it was pretty good. I really liked it. If you ever come across this movie, my recommendation to you, honestly, would be, and I'm just, you can do whatever you want, but honestly, especially if you come across this kind of presentation where it comes also with the full-length film Dumplings, honestly, dude, watch Dumplings first or afterwards, whatever. But the point is, don't watch the version from the short, from the actual film. Skip all of that shit, go straight to cut and to box, and watch those. But watch Dumplings as the full feature film, because it's honestly a better experience. It's a lot better than if you just watch it as a short. There's just a lot more stuff that happens. A lot of the stuff that happens makes more sense. Like, oh, okay, so that's what happened there. And again, I'm not even saying that the short version didn't make sense, because they actually, respect, credit where credit is due. They actually made a very cohesive, coherent thing, even though they completely edited the movie from like 1 hour 40 to like just 40-50 minutes. So, that's still a lot of time that you're missing. and it was still pretty understandable and pretty well made. That being said, you ask me, I say that the full thing is better. What else? In one of the previous videos, the which one was it? Which one was it? God, the one where I talk about Pulse, the movie Pulse, both of them, Cairo and Pulse. You may have noticed that I did an awful lot of reading from the computer because I had a bunch of notes in them. The thing is, they were very extensive notes, you know. So I'll probably, and I have this thing where when I have something already written, I usually, like, fuck, how did I write it? I like how I wrote it. So that gets, so you know, not only does that keep me looking over, but it also keeps me like not really being able to fully connect it because I'm trying to remember it, but I cannot really remember it that well. I'm not good at improvisation. Here's the thing. I feel like I'm not terrible at improvisation, but I'm definitely not good at it, like, at all, when I already have this thing in my mind that, I want to do it that way. Because it just messes me up, you know. I cannot concentrate in one or the other. So for instance, this video, I'm making it with no script at all. I just literally just set up the camera and sat down and began talking. And I feel like I'm doing alright. But I also feel like what I should do probably is actually think about what I want to say, you know, make my notes, but make them like very, very, very vague, just like talk about this. Oh, okay. And maybe do that, you know, use my notes to you know, to go into like through points. Okay, I already mentioned this, I already mentioned this, I already mentioned that. Because that's the thing. I like when I think of something that I really like, oh, I want to talk about that, I want to mention that. That's why I had the notes in the other video. So that's what I'm going to start doing, I think. I'm going to start making my notes, but very vague and just very basic. And maybe look at them every now and then. What am I going to talk about now? Oh, that, sure. And then, you know, I will just go off on that. That would probably work better. I feel like I've gotten somewhat decent at doing this just on the run, just on the fly, just start talking. I had never done that before I began doing reaction videos, which you may or may not have seen. For all I know, there's nobody watching this right now. But anyway, the point is that that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to start making that kind of videos. I like doing this, you know. I have a lot of time on my hands lately, unfortunately. No, I want to say unfortunately, but definitely it's not also a good thing. Like, anyway, the point is I have a lot of time on my hands lately, and that's why I'm doing more and more videos. I want to make more videos. It was a good movie, Dumplings. It was a good movie, I felt. It generally had a creepy order to it, but also had like proper history, had really interesting characters. Not interesting because they were like, oh, the coolest or the most interesting people in the world, but interesting because of how simple yet deep they were. The husband, who's literally just a horny motherfucker, an old dude. He's literally just any old guy with money who is now looking for younger flesh to get in bed with. And yet there was some sort of nuisance to him too that, I don't know, man, I don't know. It was kind of weird. It's not even like he was charming as such. He just was kind of unoffensive enough that I don't even know how to explain it, man. I personally don't think I would allow myself to be swept away by that dude. But then again, hey, he had money, so maybe that also played a part. The woman, you know, she wants to regain her beauty. She wants to regain her youth. She wants to be attractive to her husband again, and that's kind of the thing. She's not like wanting to do this out of like an ego trip. Maybe there's a bit of that there. And she's also not trying to do this to like, oh, I want to get more men. No, she literally just wants to be desired by her husband again. I mean, that's something that I feel like a lot of women can relate to a lot of the time. And of course, there's also the fact that, you know, her life in general is messed up. She probably yearns for the years where she was, you know, young and beautiful, and you know, an actress. You know, she was doing this thing that she loved to do. She's like in retirement now. I don't know. It's weird. And then you have this woman, Bailey, her character. Good God, it's almost like she has, how can I say it? It's almost like she follows a set of rules that she established herself. Like, oh, you know, I'm going to, you know, I'm going to follow these rules. I'm going to do things this way, and that's it. But then, you know, on a whim, she will break her own rules. Like, nah, fuck it, I'm going to go beyond. Just because. I suppose that when you feel like you can live forever, you you go ahead and break all the rules, man. Bear in mind, Bailing must have been, reaching her 40s when she made this film. And I kid you not, she still looked like a freaking 20-year-old, man. I mean, that woman is good looking. That woman is good looking. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. The point is that it was a good movie. I already told you. You're going to watch this. Watch the two shorts boxed and cut separately and watch the whole feature film for Dumplings. I don't know how many times I have said that word, feature film, but hey, fuck it. Do that. And I don't think I made an introduction for this time. I'm not making a lot of introductions lately. Again, with the post video, I tried it. And then I've also just recently made this other video for the movie Last House on the Left. I decided to use... I literally just record myself and uploaded that. Let's see what happens, man. Like I said, I'm trying new stuff. See what kicks a little better. Anyway, I didn't make an intro this time, and you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to do an outro other than thank you very much for your time and for watching. And hey, stick around. Keep watching my shit, please. And comment anything that you want. If you think that I should kill myself or anything, literally, just comment something, please. Like my videos, and if you think that you know someone who might like them also, please send it to them. If you know a friend who is like he never shuts up about 3 Extremes, and he's like, oh my god, I finally found someone else who is talking about that stupid ass movie that my friend loves. Hey Jacob or Sarah or whatever the fuck your friend's name is, look at this guy talking about this movie and shitting all over it. Anyway, have a good day and be seeing you around. Se cuidan.